Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Shan Stratton Live. My name is Shan Stratton, and I will be your host tonight. We host this event every Tuesday night, and I am truly excited about tonight. I just got back into the country. I'm energized, I'm excited. Anytime you go out of the country and you get back home to this great land that we call home, it's always exciting. I've got my purple alkaline shirt on. I'm ready to share with you tonight a true KANGEN water demonstration. It's something that I enjoy doing, and we really launched these Tuesday night webinars so that we could talk about anything and everything to do with living a more alkaline lifestyle. Now, before we jump into it, I'd like to give a special welcome to a few people. I know that we have a few doctors logging in from Bolivia, South America. I welcome you to the webinar tonight. I know we've got a few doctors logging in to this live stream from Japan. I welcome you to the call tonight as well. And then all the various groups around the world. Our reach continues to grow as we're nearing 35 different countries that have logged in to the live edition of our Tuesday night Shan Stratton Live webinars. So I'd also extend a great welcome to any and all of you that may be on here for the very first time. I thank you for inviting me into your home. It's a great opportunity for me to come closer to reaching my goal, which is a true mission that our company has adopted, which is to enhance and enrich the quality of life for millions of people around the world by providing the products, the services, and the education, which is what I'm doing tonight, to allow you and others to live a more alkaline, alkalizing lifestyle. So with that, I want to jump right into it tonight because we've got a lot of information. I want to do a full alkaline and demonstration. And as I've always promised on these events, I want to keep it at 30 minutes. So we're going to jump right into it. As you can see here, it's a KANGEN water demonstration, and I'm going to slant it a little bit towards the inflammation and how our technology can assist really as an anti-inflammatory. When we look at inflammation, there are really two types of inflammation that need to be addressed. Okay, first of all, there's what's called acute inflammation. Now, acute inflammation is not what we're going to talk about tonight. It's inflammation that may occur whenever you have a twisted ankle, okay, or you have a car accident, you get rear-ended. Instant inflammation. Now, that's a natural process. We want that to take place. Natural inflammation, every now and then, to help recover is a good thing. But systemic inflammation is inflammation that happens again and again and again, day after day after day, and it turns into something that causes the body to continue to react to inflammation. That's what doctors are now referring to as one of the fastest growing killers in America and around the world today is that systemic inflammation. Inflammation internally that's happening and going on all day, every day. So when we define systemic inflammation, we look at it and it says chronic systemic inflammation is the result of, and I stop right there. Why? Because folks, that is the key word. Chronic inflammation, it's not a disease or a sickness or an illness in and of itself. It's the result of other things going on. So what that means is we can't address inflammation by just going to where the inflamed area is. We have to address it by looking at what is causing the result. And so that's why I stopped it right there. Now, if you go on from there, you finalize that definition by talking about it's the result of the triggering or the release of pro-inflammatory, and there's a technical word there, so I just put in there stuff so that we can stay general here, and activation of the immune system. See, if we caused the body to release pro-inflammation 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 times a day, week after week, month after month, year after year, now we start breaking the body down. That's when real degradation or degeneration begins. And that's why doctors are now saying that systemic inflammation is one of the most debilitating and fastest growing challenges in America and across the world today. So we have to address the result, we have to address the cause rather than just looking at the result. So for someone to say, oh, we have such and such product or drink or juice or pill or whatever it is that reduces inflammation, we need to ask them, well, what is it addressing to reduce that inflammation? And that's what I want to share with you here tonight. So let's go a little bit deeper. I don't want to get too deep, but I want to share with you what systemic inflammation, what some of those results are. Okay, so if we're causing the body to trigger pro-inflammatory scenarios day after day, the result, which is inflammation, is causing what? Diseases, sicknesses, illnesses, and are they important enough for us to even look at? Well, let's look at them. Diabetes. I think it's darn sure important enough for us to take a look at how inflammation affects and or causes the result, which we refer to as diabetes. Colitis, celiac disease, chronic fatigue, Crohn's, leaky gut, MS, irritable bowel syndrome. Irritable bowel syndrome is something we never even hardly heard of before. Now we hear about it all the time. Person after person. In fact, I bet almost every one of you watching this knows somebody with an irritable bowel type symptom, whether that be inflammation in the lower GI, whether that be leaky gut syndrome, whether that be colitis, whether it be Crohn's, whatever it is. We know people, or you probably know someone that has an irritable bowel type scenario or symptom. Rheumatoid arthritis, okay? Lupus, Graves, high blood pressure, obesity. Now, let me be very clear. Guys, I'm not saying nor even insinuating that we can cure these problems. What I am saying, though, is that we do know that these are the result of chronic inflammation. So when we look back to that previous slide, okay, the result of the triggering of pro-inflammatory stuff. So we have to look at what is causing that continued release of those pro-inflammatory scenarios. Now, to do that, I want to share with you a demonstration. The main reason why most all of you are here on this webinar tonight, to share with you how our technology addresses inflammation in particular. Now, our technology addresses a lot of different things. Everything from increased digestion to a lot of stuff. Doesn't cure it, but we support the underlying needs of many of the things across the board. I want to share with you tonight how our technology can assist in addressing what is causing the issue. See, many of you have heard me say in a lot of my lecture series, you do the same thing today that we did yesterday. We're going to have the same problems tomorrow that we have today. Folks, I believe we have some serious problems in regards to health in America and across the world today. So we have to change some of the things that we are doing in order to do that. One of those things is taking a look at the largest component of our body, which is water. See, many of you may not even know that approximately 70 to 80% of your body is made up of water. It's the largest component of the body. So if in fact that largest component of your body has weaknesses or has toxicity or has bacteria or has any number of other things, then our body is more susceptible to those kind of things. So why do I bring that up? Because many people have said, well, because our body's made up so much of water, I filter my water. I make sure that my water is so perfectly filtered, or I distill my water, or whatever the process might be. Folks, I'm not talking about the purity or impurity. I'm talking about whether or not that largest component of the body is or can address many of the causes that are resulting in the diseases that I showed you here today. So, with that, let me start with something that I've really started to enjoy learning more about, and that is how the world works, really. Okay, but lightning is one of the things that is really intriguing to me. I've never really thought about lightning before, to be honest with you. Living here in Arizona, we don't get many storms at all, and so seeing lightning every now and then, it's pretty rare. But when you realize, guys, that lightning strikes from cloud to earth 100 times every single second, which is over 8 million times every single day, I believe there's something pretty important going on there. If it's that important that it happens that often, I believe that this earth, this world was created in a way that those types of things that happen commonly play a very important role. Well, when you start looking in, you find that lightning does in fact play a very important role. Plays a very key role in our agriculture, believe it or not. Not going to go into the details. Plays a very important role in the energy balance of the earth. But it also plays a very important role into something that we talk about with our technology, and that is it creates an electrical charge. That electrical charge that is created by lightning is vital in the electrolyzing, if you will, of our water, allowing our waters that we're consuming to have the proper balance of antioxidizing molecules. Okay, now again, I don't want to get too detailed. I just want to share with you, especially all of you for the first time here, that we have a technology that, as you're going to see in this demonstration, can really be extremely effective in a lot of different ways. Let me just pour a little bit of each one of these waters in here. We're going to take a look at the most commonly consumed liquids. Now, many of you are looking at this saying, hey, yeah, I drink Smart Water, or I drink Aquafina, which I'm pouring here, or I drink Dasani, I drink, maybe it's Voss, maybe it's Deer Park, whatever it is, maybe it's Walmart. Okay, whatever it is that you're drinking in regards to water, I want to show you how oxidizing or how anti-oxidizing these liquids can be. The last one here. The one in here is the water that came directly out of our technology right here at the office. Okay, and I'm going to use a little instrument that's going to show you whether these liquids are oxidizing or whether they are anti-oxidizing. And what is an absolute vital key to allowing that disassociation of molecules is electricity, energy. Nature or God has done it by lightning. We have done it by an electrical cord that plugs right into the wall. Many people will look at our technology and say, well, you guys tout being all natural and everything, but yet your technology has to plug in and use electricity to do what you want it to do. Absolutely it does. It absolutely does, because we use 220 watts of energy to mimic the scenario that lightning does on a much broader scale. I often refer to, we have a technology that's like lightning in a box, okay, because it's that important. Now, I want to use a chart here that allows us to see any liquid, whether those liquids measure on that chart, oxidizing or anti-oxidizing. Anything on the left, maybe we can get a little closer shot in here, okay, anything over here on the left in the red side with a positive number to it, that means that they have fewer free electrons, which means fewer antioxidants. Okay, it doesn't have an electron to donate. So the fewer it has, the higher the number. The more electrons it has to donate, those free electrons are antioxidants. They reduce that oxidative process, and that's what this is measuring, is the ability or the potential to reduce the oxidative processes going on in our body, which happen to be extremely inflammatory. Oxidation is the cause of many, or a cause of many of the diseases that I showed there a minute ago. So when we look at a result, which is inflammation, the cause of those results happen to be oxidation. So the best thing we can do is provide antioxidants to our body. Now on this same chart, anything on this side over here that has a negative reading to it, negative 100, negative 250, negative 400, and so on, the higher the negative number, the more free electrons it has to donate and act as an antioxidant. So over time, we've consumed things like oranges. It's a great antioxidant, high in vitamin C. We've seen things like wheatgrass drinks. We've seen all kinds of green drinks. We've seen all kinds of antioxidant pills or antioxidizing drinks. Green tea. It's a fantastic antioxidant. In fact, many of you are sitting there saying, well, yeah, I've consciously made effort to drink green tea because I know of the antioxidizing ability, otherwise put as the great potential to reduce oxidation. Green tea is a great one. Cod liver oil. Now, few of you, if any, are going to say, yeah, cod liver oil, I'm going to start taking it because it's a great antioxidant. But it measures way up there. And then finally, we have what I'm going to show in the demonstration here, a liquid, a technology that provides an antioxidant, the highest potential to reduce that oxidative process. Therefore, I'm saying the greatest ability or potential to reduce inflammation because it's a cause of the result. So, we turn our meter on here. Now, again, this is just a technology that allows us to go right into, I'm going to put the tip of it right in here. Let's see if we can get maybe a close-up right on here. Can you see the numbers in there? Okay, this is Voss water. Now, you're seeing that it's a positive 250. It is oxidizing to the body. Folks, I don't care how filtered, how clean, it is oxidizing to the body. Come down here to smart water. We're at 270, oxidizing. You able to see the numbers? Okay, let's come over here. Another common drink, Aquafina. We look at that, we're above 300. It's extremely oxidizing, guys. Propel, sports drinks, 350 and climbing. Let's come to a carbonated drink. We're going to get all the way up there. It's going to continue to climb. We're at 330. Now watch when we go right into our water. Water that uses electricity to create dissociation and allow for a negative 420, which means it has many times more free electrons to act as an antioxidant. Now, I want to come back down here. I want to come into, we'll just use this one right here. You can see it goes straight back up to a positive. Okay, and I'm going to do this and hopefully not spill it. Positive, and it's climbing. I'm going to set this right here. I like to do this because I want you to see how little it takes to go from an oxidizing to an, I'm just going to put just a little bit in there. Went even a little more than I meant to. I haven't even looked at it yet, but I'm hoping it's on the negative side. I'll bet you it is, and as I look at it, negative 150. Okay? So it didn't take much at all because the high potency of the amount of electrons, I put it in with that water. Let's do one more right here, just so we can see it work again. Back on the positive side, we're just going to add just a little bit. In fact, that wasn't even hardly a teaspoon or a tablespoon. 180. Negative 180. Folks, you can see how powerful and potent, come all the way back down here. I'll bet we're back up there to a negative 400. Okay? The higher the negative number, the more electrons. And that's what we have fought for and tried to provide as supplementation and everything under the sun. You notice so many other companies try to build their product line based upon antioxidants. I know that I have. Antioxidants are vital. We use antioxidants in our product lines. We try and get good nutrients from vitamins A, C, E, and selenium. Those are great antioxidants. We use all kinds of wheatgrass and greens drinks, and those are fantastic. But I am here to share with you that I just showed you a water that is the largest component of your body. And if you changed this water into this water, 70% of your body is now using negative 500 on the potential to reduce oxidation. Folks, that is one of the greatest ways to address inflammation or the cause of inflammation. Inflammation is caused from a lack of electrons. Free electrons go down. We are now oxidizing. Oxidation creates inflammation, and inflammation, day after day after day of oxidation, now turns into systemic inflammatory diseases like I showed you just a minute ago. Okay, so I'm going to take these two out because I made the mistake last time of using those same ones in my next demonstration, and it didn't work right. So we're going to come back up here. We're going to put Aquafina back in here. We're going to put Smart Water back in here. And now what I want to show you is the next part that we want to talk about. I've showed you a technology that provides you the greatest potential to reduce the oxidative process. Antioxidants are the strongest, most important and powerful way to reduce that inflammatory response. I use it with my professional athletes. Folks, I work with hundreds of professional athletes and athletic organizations in Major League Baseball, in the NBA, in the NFL. I'm blessed and fortunate to work with our men's national soccer team and things like that. I've been very fortunate, and I only say that to tell you that these athletic bodies are always being hit with inflammation, and we are able to address much of that by changing that largest component of their body, which is the water. Go from these bottled waters, go from filtered water, go from reverse osmosis water, go from distilled water to a very highly antioxidizing form of water. Change that largest component of your body. You're going to notice a difference like I and my family and others have. That's only one of the benefits. The next benefit I want to talk about is the pH. Okay? You probably heard a lot about pH. It's more and more popular now than ever before. Okay? In fact, we're seeing more and more people asking the question, what is pH? Why is it important? We also refer to it as acid-alkaline balance. That's important for a body to function. Now, you need to understand that when we were born, our body is slightly alkaline. In fact, when we're born, it's highly alkaline. And as we age, our body was intended to function most efficiently in a slightly alkaline environment. Now that doesn't mean that there aren't parts that are acidic and that are supposed to be acidic, but in general, our body is supposed to function and does function most efficiently in a slightly alkaline environment. So we have to look at what kinds of things are causing acidity. Well, doctor after doctor after doctor are showing us and telling us that acidity is caused from many things. One of the biggest, most dramatic causes of acid buildup is the lack of digestion. Indigestion, the inability to break nutrients, foods all the way down, therefore the body has to flush it with acid, causing acid to rise. As acid continues to rise, 3, 4, 5 times a day when you eat a meal, day after day after day, week after week, acid begins to rise. Now we're more in a slightly acidic environment. Okay? Environmental stresses, environmental factors cause acidity. The polluted airs that we breathe, okay? Emotional stress, physical stress causes the body to produce lactic acid, uric acid, many of these other acids. Now, the neat thing when you look at the body is it has a checks and balance system to be able to say, well, the body is acidic. We have this alkalizing nutrient that will neutralize some of that acid. And that or those nutrients primarily are calcium and magnesium. Well, folks, think about it. If we're causing acid to be produced day after day, indigestion of our foods, fatty foods that cause inflammation, all of those types of things that we're consuming, if that causes inflammatory acid increase, then we're having to rob the body from calcium, magnesium, and other minerals. Where's that going to come from? The bones and the tissues. We see a bigger issue right now with osteoporosis than ever before. We see an issue right now. Dentists will tell you that bone structure in our mouth and that our teeth are weaker than they've ever been before because of the robbing of calcium. I believe, and I think there's adequate research that supports that much, if not most of that acidity, that weakness, that depletion of calcium and those minerals is caused from that massive day after day influx of acid production. So let me take and show you on a chart of pH. 7 is neutral, right in the middle. Doesn't mean it means it's not alkaline, it's not acidic, it just is. Anything below 7 is acidic. and anything above 7 is alkaline. Now, alkaline typically promotes, supports, fosters health, longevity, energy, recovery, all of those types of things. Acidity, on the other hand, typically foster diseases and sickness, illness. It's shown over and over and over again, guys, that an alkaline tissue has much better defense against disease, mainly cancer, than acidic. So what does that mean? It means that, again, if we can change that largest component of the body from acidic to alkaline, then we have something that is going to make a difference. The only way I can show you that, though, or convince you of that, is to really show you how acidic each of these drinks are. Let's start down here with Voss. Now, these are simply pH drops. We're going to put 2 drops in each one of these drinks. These types of drops are used across various industries, okay? There's nothing special about it. We simply put the drops in there, and then based upon the color that the water or liquid turns to, tells us whether that liquid is alkaline or whether that liquid is acidic. Now, Voss. Voss is a water that is an artesian well-based type water. Okay, they've marketed themselves fantastically. They're growing market share. And if you look at their water, okay, it is almost neutral, a little bit slightly below neutral, so it's slightly acidic. So of all of these here, we would say, well, this is probably the closest to alkaline, but guess what? When I did the ORP earlier, did you notice it was one of the highest oxidizing of those waters? So you might have a little bit better chance drinking this than the others because it's not as acidic, but it's oxidizing, guys. If you're going to do it, let's do it right. Let's take Smart Water. Same thing. Smart Water's right in here, about 5 to 7. Hopefully you're able to see these colors pretty well. Dasani and Aquafina, both of them, about the same colors, guys. They are acidic. They're down here in the 4 range. Propel. I'm sorry. I thought that was Dasani. Propel, our sports drinks, that's way down here, almost near 2. Okay? So you can see our sports drinks are very acidic, and they're oxidizing. So we can't keep teaching our children just because athletes drink sports drinks, we should do it. Folks, I'm telling you, I absolutely believe personally, that sports drinks causes a higher acid production and a worse scenario internally than the benefit from the electrolytes they're trying to replenish. We rob those minerals faster than the minerals are being replenished in these electrolyte replenishment drinks. Carbonated drinks, not a surprise, all the way down here, 2, 3, extremely acidic. The beautiful purple. All the way up here, I guess that's about a 9 right in there, right where it should be. This is 9.5 water. Sure enough, it's right in there at 9.5. It's extremely alkaline. Now, some of you may be saying, yeah, but we don't want our body to be too alkaline. In fact, I had a strength and conditioning coach from an NFL team, the National Football League team, professional football team, contacted me today. And he said, I've got some athletes that have been inquiring about your water, but I really am concerned. I think that it's going to be detrimental to my athlete because I don't want them too alkaline. Folks, it didn't take me very long to point out the reasons and the causes of acid production from, I said, Mr. So-and-so, do you put your athletes through this type of exercise? Yes. Does that cause a production of lactic acid? Yes. Uric acid? Yes. Talk to him about the foods that we eat, the cooked and processed foods, especially athletes, the cooked meats, the fatty foods, the things like that come into the body, acid production is increased. So, folks, it was about a 5-minute conversation, very, very simple, to share with this guy that's in the industry that said simply, I've never really thought about these things, and the way you put it makes all the sense in the world. So I'm not telling you that it's going to change his mind. I'm not telling you I've sold him the technology, but I believe I will because he got it. He understood very quickly, and he's in that industry, that if we are changing the acidity of the largest component of the body, as I showed you in these drinks here, to alkalinity in a high fashion and providing a great antioxidizing potential, folks, that's the best of all worlds. Now you might be saying, well, yeah, that's for an athlete, but I'm a stay-at-home mom. Folks, stay-at-home mom, your body works the same as a professional athlete. Your body is intended to function in a slightly alkaline environment, just like the professional athlete. My joy is working with the stay-at-home mom, general population, because that's where this education is needed. And that's why we do these live webinars just like we're doing. Let me take a couple of these. Let's go to Dasani. I'm just going to add just a little bit, hardly any at all. And you can see how fast we change that to a beautiful purple color. Now, if we went to the sports drinks, cannot even neutralize it. We can't even get it back to slightly green to neutralize it. Sports drinks and carbonated drinks, guys, are so acidic. It is an underlying cause of inflammation. It absolutely is. Now I want to wrap it up by saying, when we define inflammation, inflammation is a result. We need to address the cause. I believe with all of my heart, and doctor after doctor after doctor that we're working with and bringing on board, we're showing that as we change that pH of the body, and that as we make these changes to the largest component of the body, we are seeing many of these illnesses, sicknesses, diseases start to remedy themselves. It's not what we've done. We haven't fixed them. We've simply provided the body, allowed it to go back into a scenario, in a situation, in a state of homeostasis, a balance of the acid and the alkalinity to say, hey, body, here you go. In closing, I want to share that there is more and more and more research coming out as we do this demonstration right now today. More and more research is coming out that is emphatically and undisputably stating and showing and proving that most inflammation begins in the gut, begins with a deficiency of living probiotics, living bacteria. As those living bacteria are diminished because of acidity, we see the risk factors of leaky gut syndrome, diabetes, cholesterol, obesity, urinary tract infections. All of these things that we see on this list, they're beginning in the gut. Folks, we've got to take care of the gut. It starts in the gut, and that gut is extremely pH sensitive. Those living organisms of bacteria thrive with good alkalizing properties of things like our technology provides. I'm telling you, we are making a difference. Whether you're young, you're old, you're male, you're female, you're athlete, you're not an athlete, it does not matter. If you are looking to improve your quality of life, I absolutely believe, as I've provided it to my family, my friends, my clients, my customers, my athletes, but most importantly, my wife and my children, we have noticed that difference that have allowed us to live a more fulfilling life. I'd like to invite each and every one of you to get back with that person that invited you to this webinar tonight. They care about you. They care about improving the quality of your life, and I believe, as they do, that this might be the most effective, most efficient, and easiest way to change that quality of your life. I mean, who knows? Just might change your water, that might change your life. God bless, guys. Thanks again for inviting me in your home tonight. We'll see you again next Tuesday. Thank you. Have a great week.